Hello and welcome to another episode of the Just Go Watch podcast. This week we are doing a straight to Netflix revival of an old classic, Beverly Hills Cop, Axel F.
Can
What a song!
Yeah, that's a good song. I actually,
Yes.
Devastated that we haven't quite figured out how to put sound on this new thing we have yet.
But listeners, just picture it, sing it along. You
Yeah.
know it. Play it immediately after this 3-hour long podcast. Remember this and
Only 3 hours.
and play the same song. I actually like the remix version they did in this one.
Yeah, it was good.
I did enjoy
It was
that.
good.
I did enjoy that.
Stick with the
but yes,
classics.
Beverly Hills Cop. Can I also make a confession? I think I saw the first one.
Don't say. Don't.
Not that kind of confession.
We don't want to hear those.
Not that kind of confession.
Just so you know, everything that's been said about me is true, and I do have a penchant for the younger gentleman.
Oh god, no, not that kind of.
I don't want to hear it. Don't incriminate me.
We don't want to know. The less we know, the better. Plausible deniability.
I think I've seen like the Beverly Hills Cop, like the first one, like when it's been on like a Sunday afternoon or something. I've not seen any of the other ones. As in the second or third. Yeah. Sorry, mate. We're disturbing dinner time. Nah, we're so
going on
professional.
over there. What's he got in his mouth?
Well, yeah. There you go. There you go. Always professional on the Just Go Watch podcast. Yeah, I mean, I take it. You guys have seen them all. Big fans.
Fuck yeah! Fuck yeah! I've seen them all multiple times.
Yeah, the first one is legendary. I've seen the second one. I don't think I made it through the third one. I think I only got a little bit into it. It's not.
You haven't seen about Uncle Dave? Hey, it's Uncle Dave. Uncle Dave.
I don't even think I made it that far.
Oh my god, man!
Staunch fans of the Beverly Hills Cop franchise.
Beverly Hills
the
Cop
first
3
one,
is a
though.
classic.
All right.
Yeah, but also Beverly Hills Cop 3 is a classic. And it's the wild. And it's the wild, everybody. And it's the wild.
I would not know.
Yeah,
I would not know. So you're a fan though, dude?
Yeah,
Big
man.
fan.
Yeah, you listen. Beverly Hills Cop 1, 2, and 3, all-time classic films. I mean, you know, in that kind of space where like, are they like fucking masterpiece of film? You know, no. But are they great films? Yeah, fucking. I mean, they are. Beverly Hills Cop 1 and 2, just classic 80s, and then Beverly Hills Cop 3. You know, moving it forward into the 90s a little bit, but still just has the essence, and it's just a great film. It's the wild.
They're just before my time, you know.
I do recommend you watch
that.
Beverly Hills Cop 1, 2, and 3, and I do suggest
Just
you
the
do
whole,
that
just the whole
immediately.
franchise, just the whole.
Yeah, I do
Yeah, just
suggest
watch them
you pause your life and you stop this nonsense about your relationships and stuff and whatever else. Yeah,
Whatever
and
you
watch
want to
Beverly Hills Cop.
confess.
Yeah, 1, 2, and 3. You watch those things. Yeah, listen. People are having babies all the time. There'll always be more kids, right? But films, you need to.
horrendous. All right, well, yeah. So avid fans here, we know exactly what we're talking about, and we can effectively judge this movie and Eddie Murphy's portrayal once again of Axel Foley. All right, so so this one just came out to Netflix, directed by Mark Malloy, which is his directorial debut because he has done Sweet F.A. otherwise.
Yep.
Just the 4 writers on this one, with a runtime of 118 minutes, just shy of that 2-hour mark that MP and I love so much.
Yes.
I'm going to do something.
Although, I'll get to that later.
Little tease up. With a budget of I've also got another little guesstimate for you afterwards, because obviously it's a Netflix movie, so we don't have, you know, how much it made. So budget, what do you think?
Oh God, I really, you know what? Actually, last night when I went to bed, I was actually thinking about this. I was thinking about this very question, this very moment.
You are
in
a
time.
sad, strange little man.
I was like, he's gonna ask me how much this budget was, and then could I rightly say that I know? And I was like, fuck me, I really don't. And now we are here in
And
that
the pressure's
moment.
on.
And
The pressure's on as well.
the very nightmare that I was living in that time has come to be. It can't be that much. Surely this film cannot be that much. It can't be. I mean, it's some good. I'm gonna say 70 million, and no more. And even that's high.
Mm-hmm.
70 million, you say?
Come on, MP, educate this fool.
Well, I was up all night thinking about this as well, trying to find it on the internet. No, not on the internet. I was just thinking in my head, what would bring the cost of this movie? I know Eddie's got to be bringing down a big paycheck for this, but they had to pay him a lot to get him to do this movie. And he got some stars. All the effects look pretty practical, so they were crashing some cars and shit. I'm gonna go. Let's just do 100 million.
100.
The budget for
100 million. No, I'm changing my mind. I'm going to say no. I can't trust MP. I'll say 100 million and 50,000. 100 million and 50,000. You know something? I'm telling you. I'm changing my estimate. 101 million.
No.
You're
changing the rules. Changing the rules.
101 million.
I'm going to take my ball and go home. I'm not playing with you guys anymore.
All right. I mean, MP, Deej did just have an increase. Do you want to change yours now? And then you've got 2 bites of the cherry each. Do you, can go up or down now?
I'm going to stick solid 100.
Okay. The budget for this was $150 million.
No shit.
What?
I would have
150 million.
Yeah.
That's Marvel kind of money.
That leads me to my next little tidbit for you. What was Eddie Murphy paid? Look at this. Look what I bring. Look what I bring for you. Look what I bring.
110 million. I don't know. What is he paid? Eddie Murphy? Oh God. It's got to have been a lot, isn't it? If you'd have asked me, I would have said maybe 10 million, but it's got to be so I'm gonna say 30.
Hell, I'll go 50.
20% of the budget, or half of the budget, was spent on Eddie Murphy for this film.
What?
No. That's what you're suggesting. He's saying 75 million.
I'm going to say it.
Yeah. You're saying 30. So that's 20%.
30, yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, I'm
he was paid. I mean, now it's not as cool because he was paid 15. One tenth of the budget. Yeah, great. You ruined it now, really.
Man, God.
Oh, so I would have been closer with my 10, but I was closer still anyway.
You were closer.
For those never lest ye forget, I am the Mahdi of the Pod Nation.
The Muadij.
I am. Listen al Gaib. Say it, Hatch.
You will believe.
No, I don't believe. I'm an unbeliever. I'm an unbeliever. I'm Zendaya.
Infidel.
And you will know him by his accurate predictions.
That's right. Only the Muadij would have been wise enough to change his answer.
Correct. Right. Correct. Listen al Gaib.
Oh my goodness.
You will proclaim it, Hatch. One day you will proclaim it.
I will never.
One day.
I would rather see death. Anyway, so this film that was written by 4 people, with Eddie Murphy as a producer on it, probably just a little credit as part of his deal, I reckon. The plot, though, we meet back up with Axel Foley, who is still in the Detroit police. He hasn't managed to get himself fired in 2024's policing status. Anyway, he is up to his old tricks again, causing damage, which basically means that the deputy chief, Jeffrey, has to announce his retirement, basically as kind of a do-over instead of Axel. Jeffrey encourages Axel to reach out with his daughter, and then actually receives a phone call from old Rosewood, who basically says that his daughter Jane's life is in danger. So he gets on a plane, and now Rosewood is incognito and can't be contacted. Jane is a lawyer, big fancy pants lawyer, and she's representing cons or supposed cons, including one who has supposedly been framed for the murder of an undercover officer called Copeland. Rosewood supposedly has got a bit of evidence which might vindicate Enriquez, this murderer. Axel is out in Beverly Hills and sees it's all different from when he was here, and he ends up getting himself arrested after going to Rosewood's office and getting up to some hijinks with some random mercenary types. He then meets up with Taggart, who is now the chief of police out in Beverly Hills, and Grant, who is definitely not the bad guy at this point, completely withheld. And you would never guess that he is going to be the bad guy at all. Don't even think about it. He's barely in this film. Don't worry about that one single meeting. Anyway, Axel then is basically on the case, working with Jane and another detective, played by Joseph Gordon-Levitt, who is Jane's ex-boyfriend. What are the chances of that? They work together and hijinks ensues before, of course, they get Grant and take him out. Jane and Axel, who had a strained relationship, are reconciled, and she probably gets back with the detective. I don't know. Rosewood and Taggart also meet up, and it's all like, family shootout, as you would. And that's pretty much the end of the film. So,
wait a minute. Hatch, you're telling me Grant was the bad guy? I was a little confused.
It's quite cerebral, this one.
It was a little murky at the end. I couldn't really put the pieces together.
Yeah. So there we go. Now last week, MP, you were upset to go after.
Oh no, you're gonna make me go first.
So in order for fairness, as it was your week of independence this week earlier on, and we're all about equality on the Just Go Watch pod, which includes traitors. So please, MP, what was your rating? What was your assessment and what was your rating?
Well, all right. I've got the floor. Well, I might just have to take my time and go into great detail.
We're on 12 minutes and a half.
I know it's a little later. It's a little later over there. I've got hours to kill over here. I've got all night, so y'all buckle in. Let's try to bring the energy like Hatch. Isn't it one of them great movies? Axel F. We talked about the original. I love the original. Actually, this whole franchise kind of parallels Ghostbusters to me, because the first one is like epic, great, perfect movie. And then you get a little lesser and a little lesser. Honestly, the second one, I thought about this. The only thing I remember about the second movie was my dad taking me, and the first preview that came on the trailer was for Predator. And I think that's all we talked about after the movie was we wanted to go see Predator as soon as that came out. But anyway, so I do love the first one. I grew up at a time, yes, I'm a little bit older, where Eddie Murphy kind of hit right at the same time where I kind of hit at the right age where you could sneak and watch his videos and whatnot and kind of laugh about all the curse words that he used. And so I kind of followed his career. I'm a big fan of his, even though a lot of his stuff is shit anymore. But it was nice to see him kind of step back into this role and then allow him to kind of be Axel F. It was great to hear him dropping F-bombs and talking shit through the whole movie. So it was good to see him move into that role again. I really did enjoy that. I like the beginning, the setup where they kind of reintroduce everything. Kind of feels like really a continuation of one of the other movies. It feels, you kind of, like I said, it gets you back into the groove of these Beverly Hills Cops movies and all that with the hockey stuff and everything. That was a lot of fun. I did like the transition because it's all gloomy and dark and snow and all that shit in Detroit. And then when he hits LA, it's just bright colors and all these gorgeous people and whatnot. That was a lot of fun. I liked all the other actors save one that we'll get to in a minute. I really like Joseph Gordon-Levitt, JGL. When he was I thought the movie would have been better played if it was just those two together, kind of bouncing back and forth, trying to save Rosewood. The music we talked about, it's all great. A lot of callbacks to the other movies, which was a lot of fun. The action pieces were well over the top if you're into that. Some of them go a little too far. I'm sure we'll get to that later, but there's a whole lot of bulletproof automobiles in Beverly Hills, apparently. Trying to think what else really negative. There is one negative, and it oh god, it brings this movie down, because I was having a lot of fun with it, especially early on. But once that daughter got introduced into this movie, I was just like, what the hell are we doing here? The whole plot just brings the movie down. Every time they're together, it's miserable. It's like I think Hatchie brought it up with these on streaming services. There's moments in these streaming movies where there's always a dull part, and that's like built in for you to reach for your phone. And that's what I was doing every time the daughter showed up. I don't know I don't know who that actress is, but she had no chemistry with anybody in this movie. And I don't know how you don't have chemistry with Eddie Murphy when he's firing all his stuff. You just have fun with it. And she didn't. She was a plank of wood. I'm surprised she's not starring in The Acolyte. That's how bad her performance was in this movie. And that's what really brings it down to me. Overall, God, it's a streaming movie. It was a lot of fun. I don't know. It did okay with the nostalgia. There were points where it went a little too far. It kind of waded into the deep end of the nostalgia pool where I was like, okay, we don't need any more of that. So overall, I'm going to give it about a 6.
Okay.
See, you all made me go first, so that's on you.
I liked it. I liked it. A solid 3.5 minutes.
I got more if you want to.
That's nice and concise. That's nice and concise. I wish I could do a film synopsis in 3.5 minutes. I'll barely get through a
I won't even try. I won't even try, boys.
All right, Pete. You are you are the big Beverly Hills Cop fan, self-assigned. So if you end up going a little bit over and comparing other films, I'm okay with it. So the floor's yours. What's your assessment? What's your rating?
So look, sit there, relax with me for the next 9 minutes as I talk to you. Right. I remember a couple of weeks ago when we were talking about Bad Boys, and I was saying how these sequels, they have this habit of they seem to they have to outdo themselves with each one and get bigger and bigger and bigger, and it gets more and more unrealistic. And there's or maybe not even unrealistic, but it's just everything. The stakes have got to be upped every time. At the other end of the scale, there's a film that tries to do nothing new at all. It makes no attempt to do anything new. Makes no attempt to introduce anything new, makes no attempt to do anything that it didn't do in the other films. It just literally repeats what happened in the last film. And so this was really just a repeat of Beverly Hills Cop 3. It was pretty much the same film. I really like Beverly Hills Cop 3, so that's not necessarily a bad thing, but watching this film, I was just a bit like, oh God, all right, he's the bad guy then, obviously. A bit of detective work, and then at the end there's gonna be a shootout, and that's how this film's gonna go, and that's exactly what happened. So there was no, I don't know. It's a really hard film for me to pin down, because I was a bit like, I've seen this. Honestly, I've seen this. But Eddie Murphy's Eddie Murphy, and I love Eddie Murphy, and I love Eddie Murphy's Axel Foley. It's got when Eddie Murphy, MP's right to a certain extent, when he's on screen with his fucking boring ass daughter who's just whinging about her terrible upbringing. Oh well, I froze you out, but why didn't you just keep trying to get me back? Like, fuck off, cunt. What are you talking about? What, your dad's making effort with you, and you're just being a little bitch about it, and then just complaining that he doesn't chase you up more and more. Like, whatever, man, boring. But that's the parts of the film where it got a bit like, oh God, I don't care about this fucking nonsense. Yeah, let me just see Axel Foley being fucking Axel Foley. Like, when he goes into that room when they're searching through all those papers, and he's like, that was taking you so long, and they're like, who are you? Like, and they're like, who sent you? Like, who the fuck you think sent me? Beck? No, LeBron James, of course, Beck, man. And I'm like, yeah, that is classic Eddie Murphy being fucking quality Eddie Murphy. And that opening scene where he's like, that guy at the hockey game and stuff, that's all of that shit's good. When you just let Eddie Murphy riff, when he's talking to Jeffrey or when he's talking to Taggart and he's just riffing, those are the good bits. When it gets brought down with that other nonsense, I was like, oh God, please. But yeah, it's kind of just it was no different to any of the other Beverly Hills Cop films, I suppose. Nostalgia was good. It was entertaining and easy to watch. Was it anything that was like, they've taken it forward or made me think this is. I don't know. It wasn't like a Cobra Kai type thing where I thought, oh, they've kind of put a new spin on this. It was exactly the same in format as the old films, but just in 2024. So can't really complain, but also kind of didn't love it either. It just was what, a straight to Netflix. If I'd have seen it in cinema, I'd probably would have been like, I don't know about that, boys. But seeing it on Netflix, I was like, yeah, all right. So probably, yeah. A 6 probably sounds about fair. It's decent enough, but nothing groundbreaking.
All right. Yeah, I don't know. Like for this one, I think you guys have summed up a lot. I've got no real affinity to the franchise as a whole. I think Eddie Murphy's great, but I can't really think of anything he's done in the last several years that's any good. Maybe, when the last 10, 15 years has he done anything that's of particular note? What's he done?
He has. I Am Dolomite.
Yes,
quality film.
I was about to say the same thing.
I've not
quality
not
film.
seen that. Not
Yeah,
seen
he's
that. I'm
really
just gonna.
good in
I'm
that.
like, I'm just gonna. Let's
Another
find
Netflix
these-
film. You should watch it.
Definitely.
Another Netflix film, man.
'Cause that is a quality film.
Yeah.
But yeah, looking back at his recent stuff, so Candy Cane Lane 2023 looks like some shit Christmas film.
That was-
2023.
That was poor.
Oh,
that was poor.
bad. You people. was
Coming to America
horrible.
2021, which
that's
again was
terrible.
another like bringing back an older kind of franchisey type film, but not me.
No,
Yeah, the Dolomite you just mentioned, Mr. Church, 1,000 Words, Tower Heist in 2011, Shrek Forever After in 2010. Where's the Shrek the Third 2007? Norbit, that was a fat one, wasn't he? Oh, mate, yeah, I don't think he's done much since Haunted Mansion, Shrek 2. We're looking back to the early 2000s. I feel like he's almost been like a forgotten man in Hollywood. That kind of classic humor of like physical humor as well, or like over the top stuff. Maybe kind of just feel like a bit. And so I've got no real affinity to him, although I do think he is very good in this. He carries it. Without him, this is god awful. Any kind of comedy was his. I thought the comedy was quite weak overall. But if it was to be found anywhere, it's going to be with Eddie Murphy. The rest of the cast just seem like they're kind of sleepwalking to it. Like he's the only one who's like, yeah, I'm going to enjoy this. Even the like Rosewood and Taggart characters. Honestly, I'd have been like, guys, it's okay to be nervous in your first acting role. But they're like, so, do you know what I mean? Like, they've been actors for ages. Maybe they've been out of the game for a while and they forgot what it's like to be in front of a screen or like to embody those characters. But they are old. especially Taggart. He is old.
Taggart is old. Yeah.
He is old. And I know they kind of play into it, but fuck me. Like, I can just don't imagine. They must.
I didn't recognize him.
They must have had mats either side of him anytime he had some sort of movement role, just in case he fell over. And Eddie Murphy's looking great. He is looking great. He actually makes a joke of that, doesn't he? Like, this guy's 15 years older than he's the same size. He looks 15 years older than me. This film should have been because they kind of go into bits of like the fish out of water, like he's old and it's the new way of policing and stuff like that. I did enjoy that they were like, nah, fuck it, let's just go. Like that opening scene was just like classic, 80s kind of thing. Like, what about all the collateral damage? Shut up. It's almost like the other guys with The Rock and Samuel L. Jackson, where they're just like demolishing streets and stuff. But they should have lent into it a little bit more, or they lean into the other side where it's like, no, we can't really do that. Whereas they just kind of do a bit of both. They don't really do either. Yeah, this is a classic Netflix film. There's a reason it's straight to Netflix. What they've spent their money on, fuck me, God knows. Because it ain't CGI. I don't see any CGI. It was good that they're using practical effects, but fuck me, 150 million.
Yeah. God,
how do you expect to make that? Netflix just seemed to just throw money at everything. For me, this is like bang average. Like, I'm not going to be fussed about watching it again. There was a couple of jokes that were quite good, but I think I've already forgotten them. I watched this film an hour ago. So for me, it's nice seeing Eddie Murphy do something. He is good, and watching like a kind of buddy cop film is semi good for me. Explosions, I'm easily pleased. So I give it a 5. It's not shit enough, like, but it's also not good.
Yeah,
and there you go.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah, well,
cut the daughter stuff out and Let him be a
100%.
buddy cop with somebody, and I think that would have elevated this movie.
100%. Him and Joseph Gordon-Levitt, and if they'd gone through the whole film of he's their like process, and don't get me wrong, right? Even that has been done. Like
Yes.
the new guy, this no procedures. This we've got to call him back up, and he's like, "Nah, man, we're just gonna get in there." Like whatever. That would have been entertaining somewhat. that would have been entertaining at least a little bit. But they don't even really do that. Like
No, because that daughter had to show back up every fucking 15 minutes.
Yeah, buddy cop film. That's what it should have been in it. A buddy cop film.
100%. Like the old and the new, but without. And they did come close to this a couple of times where they were going to almost show Eddie Murphy. They were going to do that classic thing of like the legacy character is now like hasn't got it anymore. Like they love to destroy. They love to bring back an old legacy character and then destroy him. But they didn't do that. A couple of times I thought they were going to do that, but they didn't.
Yeah, that I do appreciate it. It followed more of the Top Gun Maverick, where Maverick was still Maverick.
Yeah.
And outside of Axel F being a terrible father, of course, because that's how it has to be in Hollywood. If you didn't have that, he would still be Axel F. Yeah.
Yeah, as if like being like a hero who, blurs the line sometimes, but ultimately is there for the yes, what a bad dad. Like, he
tried to teach you self-defense. What a terrible human. All those times when you show me how to get out of handcuffs and how to throw someone or whatever. Oh no, what a terrible father that doesn't.
The parent is always wrong. The parent is always wrong.
Which literally did save your life in this film.
Yeah,
like literally the skills he taught you did save your life. So if anything, you're a terrible daughter.
Although I want to ask, has there ever been a movie like this where because this is kind of a tropey thing now with the whole older guy with this kid or and they have this you weren't around and they have all of this but headbutting over things and all that. Has there ever been one where at the end they're still just like the kid's like, still I hate you, just get the fuck out of here? I was hoping that would go that way.
That would be great to watch, wouldn't it? Can you imagine? I just took a fucking bullet for you. Yeah, but you didn't get me a present on my 12th birthday.
So
you were working
in this day and age, you that could be a thing. That could be a thing one day soon.
I wouldn't be surprised.
I've got no interest in seeing like, oh God, like this isn't an emotionally deep film. That you shouldn't be going to those places. Like I don't care about some kid being like, oh my dad, and Axel being like unresolved. No, I just don't care, man. Let me just see Eddie Murphy like saying motherfucker and swearing and like going into places and being really loud. That's that's what I want from Axel Foley.
I was really worried about this film, like the first half hour when you had loads of the daughter stuff, and I was like, is the daughter going to be the fucking buddy cop? Because this is going to be shit. And then obviously like you get introduced to like the detective obviously gets a bigger part with it, and it sort of allows Eddie to actually take center stage a little bit more and become like be Axel, whereas in the beginning bit when he's like you've got that parking attendant who like maces him, and I was like, is he going to be made a fucking idiot? And then he gets nicked by the two female officers, and that was one of the good jokes.
Funny.
He's like, this is embarrassing, and she's like, no, it's okay, sir. And he's like, nah. If I'd be embarrassed if I was in this car, Fisher Price motherfuckers, Lego caps. That kind of stuff was great. I thought they could have done a little bit more of that, like new age stuff. And he's like, "What the fuck are you doing?" But then that also doesn't really work because it's not like he's been out of the game. He has still been a cop, so he's seen it all. If he'd been retired and brought back 30 years later, then it would make a bit more sense. But surely, like I don't know. Surely he knows that.
I thought that it would have been an interesting way to do it if they just, like I said, if they had just buddy copped him with Joseph Gordon-Levitt, or if they wanted to make that character female, whatever. But have that character as detective, the young detective who's been around Rosewood and the other guy, Taggart, and has heard all of this legend of Axel Foley. And then when he finally meets him, he's kind of trying to tear him, be like, what the fuck? You're just some dude. And then Axel kind of has to show him again how he does this stuff. So that would have been kind of fun.
Yeah, I wouldn't have minded that. And maybe I wouldn't have minded also like just the new age guy is kind of a little bit more procedural, but then Ulko can, throw down. Because fucking he does, doesn't he? I forget what the detective's name was.
Abbott.
Bobby Abbott. Because there's the bit when they get ambushed and he's following them.
Yeah.
Fucking, he takes 4 highly armed guys out, like no sweat, doesn't even bat a fucking eyelid. He next returns to a police station. Like, even in the States, surely he would be getting like a hero's welcome. Like, holy fucking shit. They had like automatic guns. He was just there. He had a fucking pistol. He takes out 4 highly armed guys, saves the fucking day. And then the next thing he comes back to the station, it's like, what the fuck were you doing out there? Like,
the very conspicuous hit squad from wherever they were from. The cartel.
Oh my god, the Mexicans!
They didn't stand out at all.
Oh my god, yeah. Like, these films have just got no like respect for the reality of how quickly these people would be fucked. Like, imagine that, like in the middle of fucking LA, some fucking guy the Mexican guys are walking around with fucking shotguns and shooting cars. Like, there'd be fucking SWAT there so quick. Like, you just have no hope. You'd be dead so quickly, man. Like,
hey, I reckon members of public would have fucking killed him before the police showed up.
That's right, maybe.
I mean, maybe not Beverly Hills. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm about to say maybe not Beverly Hills.
We looked at actually filming in Texas. However, we realized the film would be over because
it would be
all
over
the bad
quickly.
guys would be dead. But yeah, like he was quality, and then it's like, give me a gun and your badge. And I was sorry, this guy should be getting a fucking hero's welcome back at the station. But I suppose it is. I was like, you're kind of wanting to do the cliche of, you know, oh my god, he's a bit rogue because he killed 4 fucking gunmen. Like, is he rogue, or is that just
is he literally just doing his job?
There wasn't even any collateral damage as well. You know, it hurts. You took someone's car wing mirror off. You fucking idiot. Yeah.
There were a couple of good actiony scenes that I thought, like the first one when he's in the snowplowy thing.
Yeah, that was fun.
That was decent. That was decent. And I was like, if you the comedy in it sometimes for me is in stepping back from looking at it. I think, imagine if this happened in real life. Just actually imagine this cop is just literally there, like fucking taking out cars, driving some snowplows down alleys, and fucking running people over. There's a point, right? Listen, he murdered someone in this film. I go back and watch this, yeah, right? He's driving the snowplow, right? And he this guy, one of the guys, the bike guys, is looking backwards. He rides into like a fucking rope or something, like that knocks him off it. And Axel runs over him. The next shot you see is Axel driving exactly where that guy was, right? Now, you don't see nothing of it, but I promise you, that guy is chopped in half by that snowplow. He's dead. So there's the destruction of property, yes. There's also the wanton murder of the fucking bloke you just ran over. But
I did enjoy the conversations going on there when he's like, no, this has got to be all yours, because if they find out it was me, and he's like, oh yeah, the detective, he thinks that these guys might be linked to the murder, and if they get away, they might do another one. That's what he thinks.
He hasn't solved a crime in 5 years.
I think when he tells him to call it in, and he calls his wife instead. He's like, hey, I'm here with Axel. No. He's like, no, call the police.
There was a similar scene.
It was good.
There was a similar scene when they're in that truck on the way to the mansion once Jane's been kidnapped. And they're going through, and he's like, oh, I'm going to get some backup. And so he like purposely knocks the car wing, the car door off. And I was like, oh yeah, that's nice. This is pretty smart here. And then they're like, getting them, and there's like, 5 or 6 cruisers behind. And I was like, this is pretty smart. Going to drag them into the gunfight. I mean, you are dragging people into certain death, but you're dragging them in like it's smart, get it called in. And then all of a sudden, like, I guess they're supporting. I was like, what was the point of that scene?
And if you watch that scene, the one cop that has the door taken off of his car, and he's like basically exposed as driving, he gets spun around to where the other cop car basically T-bones, right? I'm like, that guy's dead right there.
Yes, you've got at least 6 officers now, all needing serious spinal surgery. You can almost guarantee a couple of them weren't wearing seatbelts, so they've gone through the windshield. These guys here who were just trying to do their job have now been put into hospital in a bid thing that didn't even work in the end, but it looked good. It did look good.
I feel like Hollywood just has no respect for the concept of collateral damage at all. Like, just like remember we were doing like Kong and Godzilla, and we're like, yeah, literally, probably about 1 million people died in that film. Like that is the highest death count of any film ever. Like
when he uses a building with thousands of people in as a club, you're like, no, dead. Yeah, they're all dead.
Godzilla is a mass murderer. Let's be clear about that.
Yeah.
Let's
Oh my
be clear
god,
about
he's the hero. He's like, he's the hero
Yeah.
that Rio de Janeiro
Stomps through
they
Italy.
need, but not want. Apparently.
And Axel Foley is he murders criminals and kills cops.
He's the Godzilla of Beverly Hills.
He cripples cops.
But it's even that opening scene, like as hilarious as it was, right? The amount that they've stolen, right, from like, and I'm not excusing this, right, but they've stolen these like rings and shit from multimillionaires. Let's be honest, right? Probably, I don't know how much hockey players have played, but they're probably not on bad money, right, out there. No. In Detroit, and so they've made off with whatever jewelry, you know. Let's say on average they've taken 50 grand each. Yeah, there's what, 6 of them. So
$10 million,
$350,000 worth they've got, right? All of the police cruisers that get taken out, members of public stuff that get taken out, the various damage, the injuries to officers, the injuries to people. Like, I mean, there's several $1 million worth of damage done in that opening scene. Surely, I think you'd be like, oh yeah, no, cancel, guys. We know who these guys are. You actually said yourself you identified these guys. So we're going to try and set up a hit on them later on. But don't bother pursuing them, especially in a fucking snowplow, because one, they're on quad bikes and their maneuverability is so much greater than yours. I mean, it's not even worth. You won't be able to catch them. But then also, like, mate, the players aren't even bothered because they're all insured and they're all multimillionaires. So yeah, don't worry.
Why on earth did they choose to have these guys on quad bikes if they wanted it to be a serious chase? Because I was literally like, yeah, this chase would be over in 10 seconds. Like literally 10 seconds. Like you just be like, okay, yeah, I'm gonna just go onto the pavement here and then turn around here and go the other way, and you're never gonna be able to catch us because you've got the turning circle of the fucking moon in that thing. Like there's just no way they would keep it up. But
it looked cool. It looked cool. That's all.
Yeah.
Can we talk about? I'm glad that gang member got off though. Wait, was he gang member or was he like just associated with a horrible set of gang members? The murder suspect. The murder suspect who didn't murder the cop. Was he actually a good guy?
Oh,
Rodriguez.
Yeah, I didn't really know if he. Yeah, I didn't really know if he was like. Oh yeah, he didn't kill this cop, but he may have killed others.
He's a great guy. He's a great guy who just runs drugs every now and again. He doesn't deserve to be in prison.
No,
it's a weird kind of weird flex to take. Weird hill to die on, and like
you're not supposed to think much about him. Just forget he was there.
They go to the other cartel who 100% kill people. You know, have people brutally murdered. And it's almost like the enemy of my enemy is my friend. Like, I don't know if he is. I don't know if they are your friends. Like they're openly carrying shotguns and everything else. Just in some little cafe.
And Luis Guzman.
What's he
his
doing?
Character.
What is he doing?
What the fuck? Like you've already got like Serge, who's like this kind of like half gay, like this gay kind of character. That's
Half gay,
like, massively camp. I don't know if Serge is gay or not. He might just be camp. I don't know. I'm just saying. But then you've got Luis Goodman. I was just like, what the fuck? Like, there's this. I could not imagine. Listen, I ain't never been part of a Mexican cartel, right? So sure? I don't know what.
As far as we know, as far as Patch and I know,
it's a good
part of a cartel.
That was a good summer.
Yeah. I have never been running drugs out of Tijuana, right? But I would imagine that if you're a drug cartel, a Mexican drug cartel, you're not having a leader like that who sits there fucking singing karaoke songs covered in glitter. I just feel like that's unlikely to be accurate.
Yeah, I do not see it.
A pointless scene too, wasn't it?
Like so they just, I think they literally just get a little bit of info. Yeah. Like, down by the docks, there's some shit going on. That's what they get.
Yeah, I
Like,
don't
you're
know.
gonna ruin your entire drug operation. I don't know. Because your nephew is going to serve prison time. Would you do that? I'm not convinced you would.
No, I'm not. I don't know. I didn't really see that coming when they walked in that bar, to be honest with you. But let me say this: from something I didn't see coming to something I absolutely did see coming. From the moment I saw Kevin Bacon's face.
Yeah.
Like, can we just talk about the most obvious villain in the history of the world? Like,
They didn't even try and hide it. Like, they didn't even. It was like, and this is the introduction to your bad guy part of the film.
Here he is.
Yeah, like the most
I'm the bad guy. Nice to meet you.
The most sinister and obvious bad guy in the history of the world. Like, oh my god! But if you watch Beverly Hills Cop 3, he is literally just a carbon copy of a guy in that called Ellis DeWalt. Like, literally, the bad guys are the same people, pretty much. Like, Ellis DeWalt is like a famous, like, runs a private security company, and like is the bad guy from the beginning, obviously. And then this one, you got Kevin Bacon, who's obviously the bad guy. So like, it really was the same kind of film. Ends in a big shootout, and yeah.
And again, it was something that they could have done with that, because I thought Kevin Bacon, I know he was obvious, but he was having fun with the role. I enjoyed him in the part. But you could have had it to where everybody believes this guy. Like, you could have made him like he's got all these medals and he's a hero. And now Axel's in the position where he has to prove that this guy is dirty, instead of it just sort of being, okay, he's dirty at the end. Yeah, all right, we believe you.
But how's that?
But he was always going to be a bad guy.
Yeah, Taggart, the chief, is like, there's no way he's dirty.
Yeah,
like,
if they would have played that up more, and it would have been more of a challenge.
He's turning up in like ridiculously expensive stuff. He's hanging out. He's not even in private. He's just at these exclusive bars and clubs that you go to, like wearing like expensive shit. I mean, like,
I'm gonna enjoy it.
No, I trained him. He's definitely fine. No, your partner of 30 years is telling you that he's not great. Mate. Like, if you have any respect for the partner, like the partnership you once had, like, then you fucking put a bit of credence into this. Like, having watched for a day, and when he goes to visit like a fucking brothel and then an exclusive club and everything else, then maybe you might get some fucking alarm bells ringing.
Or as if no one's going to have gone, where? Just out of curiosity, like, just you ain't got to tell me, but how did you afford that Rolex, bro? Like, just how did you afford those shoes? Like that's a Rolex Daytona, man. That's like fully 30 grand of watch. Like, how did you afford that? Can I just ask? Like, I don't know. It's only because the internal affairs were asking, and they were asking, should about corrupt cops, and your name came up because you walk around in $30,000 Rolex. I just thought I'd ask, like, oh, you don't have an explanation. Oh, okay, yeah. Like, I mean, what the fuck, man? You can't just. I don't know, the way, and Axe was just like, hey man, I've seen dirty cops before, man, but this guy did a biscuit, man, whatever. And I'm just like, no, you can't just explain it away by saying like, by like telling us the fact that he's being flashy obviously makes him a criminal, and then but like no one's fucking noticed before. Like, come on, man, come on, do it.
Yeah, I don't know. The film it's just like, I feel like maybe the 80s and 90s, did you kind of get away with shit like that a bit more? I feel like I don't know. I don't know. In Lethal Weapon and stuff, there's like some crazy shootouts, and you're like, for example, I forget which one it is, but there's one of the ends of Lethal Weapon where all the cops make a ring around Mel Gibson and like the special forces guy, and they have like a punch out underneath the sprinklers, and like you watch that when I watched that as a kid, I was just like, this is cool, man, this is cool, and then you watch it now and you're like, someone fucking taser him. He might die. What are you doing? You're proving a point. For what? You've got him. Like, you win. Like, it's absolutely mental.
Hey, listen, that's man on man stuff, man.
That's right. That's how you settled things back in the 80s.
Yeah. That's right.
Well, maybe so. But
we'd be a better society if people still settled things like that. Listen, if the police could just turn up, right, see some criminal and be like, all right, listen, we're going to form a circle. Whoever wins is walking out. We'd have a better society, I believe.
It would be a stronger society. Like, literally, it would be a stronger society because the
2 men enter, 1 man leaves.
Yeah, exactly. I'm not so sure whether necessarily right and wrong would have anything.
Gary Busey, man.
That's
you
right.
see in that
That's
film
right.
when he just like melts his arm with that lighter.
Yeah, with the lighter.
It
Yeah.
kind-
that's great.
when you see him now, it looks like his face is actually melting. So that's art imitating life. There,
The guy is that Mr. Joshua? Is
Mr.
that's his
Joshua,
name?
yeah.
Him,
Mr.
man,
Joshua.
all right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
haven't
I do.
watched
I
it
do like the
forever.
Lethal Weapon films. The Lethal, but you know what? I feel like I know we're going on a tangent here, but I felt
all right.
like they have actually some emotional resonance. Like I love Mel Gibson and oh my goodness,
Danny Glover.
Danny Glover.
Danny Glover. Jesus, I love them. Those two together have some great chemistry, right? And
Yes.
they fit the real buddy cop stuff. They have some good humor, but then the next scene could be fucking Mel Gibson putting a gun in his own mouth when he wakes up after a shot of whiskey, thinking, "Do I just fucking end it all?" So you still have that emotional
Great film.
resonance with it. Yeah. And then
I've never related to a character so much in my life.
yeah, and then you also have like the more bombastic stuff with it. I don't know. I feel like I buy it maybe more. Because
Yeah,
the
they
whole
got
thing-
they got a really good balance in that film.
Yes.
Yeah,
Like they got the balance
these-
in that film that this film didn't get. Like the whole, like the thing with the kid and the and whatnot in this one was just like that was just bringing me down. I was just like, it's slowing the pace up, and I don't care about it. Whereas Riggs in Lethal Weapon, you're like, fucking hell, his missus died, and he's fucking on the edge. He's on the edge, but he's on the edge, and it's making him be a psycho. It's like the thing is in these films, right? It's not so much about when there's something a bit deeper, right? It's what does that depth intend to do for this character? What's it trying to bring out of the character, right? And so Riggs in that film, it's making him fucking crazy. He's a fucking psycho because he's already a fucking special forces bit of a nutcase anyway. But now he's lost his wife. He's on the edge. He's thinking about killing himself, and it is his emotional turmoil is making him into this fucking absolutely like psychotic lethal weapon. But
nice.
yeah. But in this, it's like Eddie Murphy's emotional turmoil is this fucking annoying, fucking ungrateful kid.
Yeah.
And you're like, where's that taking him? What does that add to his character? Does he go on some emotional journey because of it, where then he's a different person? And you're like,
you just
not
don't feel
really.
anything. I don't feel the emotional thing with it. I looked it up as well just now, and Lethal Weapon is basically the exact same time or a minute as this film. So the amount of like the emotional stuff, but with the comedy and everything else that it fits in compared to this film. And I know it's not fair, right? Because Lethal Weapon 1 against Beverly Hills Cop 4 is not a fair comparison, is it?
Right.
But because the latter Lethal Weapon stuff, like
I
there's a
can't
reason.
even remember the fourth one.
Yeah.
What?
So
Whoa. You can't remember the fourth
one with
Lethal
Jet Li
Weapon?
in it?
Oh,
which
yeah.
is
I
possibly
do
the
mix them
best
up.
one. Possibly the best one.
I'm getting too old for this shit. No, I do. It's been.
There's no bad Lethal Weapon films, and I won't have it said.
No.
I won't have
Do
it
you know what?
I didn't say
will
that. I
say-
just said I couldn't remember it.
I will say I'm trying to look back. Like so which one's the one with the short guy?
Joe Pesci.
Joe
Comes with
Pesci.
the
Which one's that
second
one?
right?
That's free. That's
Is that-
free. No, free.
That's three. Okay.
Okay.
And he's in.
They
And he's
fuck you in the
4 as well.
drive-through. They fuck you in the drive-through.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, the second one. The second one is with the South Africans.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I guess that's a great one as well.
They're all great fucking films, man. Great
Yeah, they are
fucking
good.
films.
I'm gonna have to watch them again.
I know.
This is the film. The sign.
We're
the
talking
sign
about
of the
Axel F. I
times-
want to go watch Lethal Weapon now.
and what do we always say when we end up talking about other films? It's because we weren't really entertained by this one. But then I don't know. Were Netflix going to care, or do they just think,
No.
Eddie Murphy's still a big name, we can get him in for?
Well,
a
they're
film,
making a
we
fifth
can
one
make this."
already. They're currently
Oh
making a
my
fifth
God.
one. So
Of what?
It's
Lethal Weapon
obviously-
or this?
no, of this.
You are joking me.
No.
How do they do that? Like, how do you make that decision without having read the room? Like, it's been 30 years, but you're like, nah, 100%. Let's make two. Let's make two. There's 300 million, which I mean, how do you spend
Yeah, I know
150
it.
million on this? That is fucking mad.
Well,
Like,
it's
whoever
the
does their
number one
budget,
film, innit? It's the number one film on Netflix, and
yeah,
stuff,
but
so that's all they
who,
care
can-
about.
who,
innit?
who controls
what
that?
does that
Netflix
mean?
do. Netflix fucking control that. They could say anything's fucking. They could say
people will watch
Human
it.
Centipede is the most watched film this week. You got to watch it again. Like,
No.
are you joking? Like, yeah, their top 10 is whatever they fucking want it to be. I'll refuse to believe that like theirs is anyway accurate. Or they'll give up some bollocks like what's his name? Schneider did on Rebel Moon. Yeah. He's like, oh my goodness, yeah. If you actually worked out the numbers, then 300 billion people watched this film. And it's the most watched film ever in the history. If you put all other films together, this is one actually watched more than every single film ever made. Like,
if every time someone blinks, you take it as a new watch. Then this film,
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Nah, but
this person logged on and watched it 5 times. No. It took me 5 goes at it to fucking watch it.
I can't watch it.
Obviously,
anymore.
a successful film. It's obviously like what I mean. They're not gonna like just make one for no reason, are they? Like they have got
Netflix have a really good sterling reputation.
No, they do. They cancel shit. They cancel shit, man. There was a series I was watching on Netflix which I really liked, and then they cancelled it.
Have they cancelled Rebel Moon? Have they cancelled Rebel Moon? If
no, but again, listen, they're not looking for like fucking films that are amazing. They're looking for films that people watch, and people obviously.
That for me is worrying because then they're like, we don't have to make a great film. And again, that is like, how many of these Netflix films are we going to be like?
No, but this is it, right?
Most of them.
No, but we're just going to do. That's
something to put on in the background.
Every now and again, we'll get one that was like, oh, do you know what?
Yeah, but it doesn't need to be. Because it's streaming, it doesn't need to be that good in it. It just needs to be passable.
Yeah,
it's possible.
But the streaming is killing the movie theater. So when everything goes to streaming, is all
I want to sit there and be like, holy fucking shit, guys! Like, you've got to get out there and watch this film. Like, I can't believe how good this film was. I want to watch it again right now. In fact, I'm going to log off now. Go fuck yourself. I'm going to watch it again. That's what I want to be doing. I don't want to be like, oh yeah, it's great, it's fine.
Well, yeah, I agree. Well, I'm just saying, from Netflix's perspective, they just
you are a shill. You're a shill.
Listen,
company shill.
Listen. You got a face like an upside down lemon, boy. Yeah.
Hang on. What is the correct way up for a lemon?
Well, no.
I don't think a north and south has ever been shown to me on a lemon.
All right.
I would assume the opposite of how you look.
Yeah, you've got a face like a stuntman's knee, boy. like a like a fighting dog's ear.
Oh, yeah, very good. All right. Well, listen. Seeing as we haven't talked about the film that we're reviewing for about 15 minutes, firstly, is anyone changing their rating?
No.
Nah. It's just on the right film. It's just on the right watch. Yeah. Okay. Eddie Murphy brings it up. It deserves a 6 for Eddie.
I'll allow it. Again, if you've got a little bit of love for the old films, I'll allow it. What do you think the Rotten Tomatoes is saying? In fact, what do we give it? What do we give it overall first?
Are you sticking to your...
I'm sticking with my 5.
Hatching.
Yeah.
All right, then. Well, in that case, I'm just powering up the Just Go Watch version 6 calculator. The most powerful calculator on earth.
Yeah, they update more than Call of Duty.
More reliable as well. That gives us a 5.7.
Okay, 5.7. So how that is. So, Rotten Tomatoes. What do you guys reckon?
I reckon the critics are not gonna hate it, but they're not gonna love it either. Like, just the kind of, I reckon the critics might be pretty similar to us. I'm gonna say 60%.
In fact, before you do this, can we play a different game? I've just thought of this. I want to play high. I want to play higher or lower against the other films. All right, you ready? Okay, so the original Beverly Hills Cop.
Lower.
Got a certified fresh 83 on critics and 82 on audience.
Low audience. Lower on critics, definitely. Audience score. It's got to be lower on both.
You are correct. You advance to the next round. MP. Beverly Hills Cop 2, 48 for critics, 58 for audience. Higher or lower?
Higher.
On both?
Yes.
Correct. You advance to the final round.
Oh,
Beverly Hills Cop 3. 11% for critics.
oh my god.
35 for audience.
Oh, higher on both.
All right.
Higher
and
on
so,
both.
so your final ratings. Oh, what a fun game. For your final ratings, what would you go? So were you sticking with 60?
Yeah, I'm gonna say 60 for critics and 70 for audience.
Okay. MP.
God. I will go 70 for critics and 75 for audience.
66 for critics.
Oh, come on,
He
man.
wins it by 2, and 80 on audience.
Oh my god. What? It's not
That's
right.
because I followed the Muad'Dij. I believe. So that's what gives me
boss.
that strength.
And you'll know him by the ratings guidance he gives you. Well,
Yeah.
there we are.
There you are. There you are. So, listen, that was Beverly Hills Cop. Axel F. Weird name. We didn't do
Yeah,
the
shit name for a film. Shit name for a film, by
shit
the
name
way.
for a film. We
Like,
didn't
just
do
call
the,
it Beverly Hills Cop 4.
Yeah, podcaster mumble jump, or just like Beverly Hills Cop Foley, something like that. It was better than Axel F, like a fucking initial. Like, what is he? A fucking primary school? Okay, Axel F and Axel M, you're in. Yeah. MP, we didn't do the podcast of Mumbo Jumbo.
We didn't. No, but we can do it now if you'd like.
Oh, I'd love that.
All right. I'll be quick, fast, and in a hurry for you. Whatever you're listening to this podcast on, if you could please rate, review, follow, subscribe, all that fun stuff, we would greatly appreciate it. We love to hear from you. You can always find us on our social media, Instagram and X/Twitter, or whatever you want to call it, at Just Go Watch Pod. We do have a new contest going in honor of the movie that I think we're mostly anticipating for the summer, the Deadpool Wolverine movie. We set up a bracket to see who the best Marvel movie of all time is. So go to Twitter and vote for your favorite one, and we'll have the next round until that movie comes out. Let's see. Also, real quick, if I can, I just want to plug that I'm going to be on friends of the show, Frank, his podcast, Silver Screeners. I'm actually guesting on that show this week, so go check that out.
Nice. So what are they doing? What are they doing this week over there?
We are talking about Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid and The Sting, a couple of Robert Redford and Paul Newman films.
Some classics.
Yes, it's nice to watch a high-quality film that is well written and well acted. We don't get that very often on this show, do we?
They are rarities. Well, listen, that was everything here from Netflix. Go check it out this week, this weekend, whatever you're doing. Watch it in 2 parts. Watch it in 3. We don't care. Just watch it and listen to the only review that you need. Just go watch. But of course, before we do all that, there's only one way that you are going to know what you think, and that is
dun 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 dun. Just go watch.